Hey guys, Logwolf99 back again with another video, and you know what time it is. We are back with another Brainless Believers, which means we have the one, the only, Adam.
Hello.
Brilliant, I love it. Okay. So yeah, we're back with another Brainless Believers. The the background game for this week, guys, is The Crew 2. Just for a bit of background footage. You know, I need the footage to be able to record. That's how it is, unfortunately, guys. But I digress. So, this week it has been my turn to find a story. But I had an idea. I was just talking to Adam about it literally like 5 minutes before we started filming. And I said, what if this week, because I found a few really good short stories, what if we do a few short stories instead of one like medium length one and then have a massive discussion? What if we do a few short ones and just talk after each one and discuss it? I figured that might be cool. So that's what we're doing today. I'm just seeing if I can turn the volume down.
Now we can show off even more vehicles at the house.
I don't know what's happening in this. Just ignore it, guys. Ignore the background shit. But we're gonna get straight into this. Adam, sit back and enjoy.
Oh well, I've got my monster at the ready.
Great.
I'm just chilling out. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to hear these unbelievable stories that are gonna scare me. You can tell by the motivation in my voice.
Always good. So yeah, the first one is called This New Old House, and it's by Bat Out of Hell 821. I will shout out the people who've done the stories if I can, guys. Yeah. This New Old House by Bat Out of Hell 821.
I'll be gone when the morning comes.
Exactly.
The night is over like a bat out of hell. I'll be gone.
It's a great musical number by Adam.
Like a bat out of hell, I'll be.
Just carrying on. Yep. Okay, so we bought an old house, my boyfriend and I. He's in charge of the new construction, converting the kitchen into the master bedroom, for instance, while I'm on wallpaper removal duty. The previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal, but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section.
Is he on about on his skin on the wall? Who the fuck does that? Like your entire skin just comes off. You're like, I think I won.
No, I think it's about the wall. You know when you're removing wallpaper and you just get really long pieces.
I mean, I cannot say that I've removed wallpaper.
Yeah, well, you know, some of us don't live like nice
putting like it says she's put wallpaper all over the fucking wall, all over the walls and the ceiling. Who puts wallpaper on the ceiling? Like, who does that?
It's very weird, isn't it? Like,
actually, I'm gonna let it slide, but you know.
Oh yeah, that's nice of you, considering you've never removed it in your life. Yeah. Really do live a life of luxury, don't you? But yeah, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person. The missing date matched the date under the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was for a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out the crime scene team. I overheard one text say, "Yup, it's human." Human? What's human? Mom, where is the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing. That's the end of that first story. Which ends like that.
I mean, I can't. How big were these rooms? I've got so many fucking questions. Do you know what I mean? Like, how fucking.
I mean, it isn't
like Harry Potter's like
Your skin is supposed to be extremely long, though, isn't it? Am I thinking that right?
Yeah,
if you were to remove it,
is it long enough? Is it long enough to
cover an entire
room? I highly doubt it.
I don't know. I don't know. It could do. I reckon. I don't know. Or maybe you use. I don't know. My question is, how did he get it to feel like wallpaper, and how did he get it to stay on the wall so well, and like so neat? Like surely skin wouldn't be neat.
Well, also, right. I've just read it. What? This cannot be. No, right. So I've just read that apparently, in an average adult, they would stretch for almost 100,000 miles.
Oh, there you go. That's more than one room. but then that begs the question: what did he do with the rest of the skin? Once he covered that room, was he just like, yeah, I don't need that anymore? Or was he a cannibal and did he eat it? Because that would be a lot of meals.
I mean, I won't put much beyond this person, but yeah, I think like overall, clearly it's a bullshit story.
Yeah,
and I think very poorly written. Like,
right. Yeah, let's analyse the person's writing.
Right, as an English literature former student, you know, the fact that they've given it away, it came off. The wallpaper came off almost like it comes off like when you peel your skin. I was like, that's an odd thing to. I've never, like, when I have peeled wallpaper, like, would you know, like when like my mum or whatever has been like decorating a room and like I'll occasionally like get a bit of wallpaper off.
Hang on, so you're changing your story now. You've gone from never doing it to occasionally doing it.
I have. No, but like, not to the point where I'm not saying I'm an expert.
Yeah, your privilege is showing.
On the few occasions, right? The first thing I've never thought is, this is like skin. You know.
Weird. This is like skin when I'm peeling it when I've got a sunburn. Although to be fair, I do agree with them that it's very satisfying to do.
Oh yeah, it is.
No, 100%.
Or do you know when you've got like a blister and like the blister's popped and then you can put
when it's popped or when it's just dry and like easy to peel off. I feel like those are two very different things.
When it's like popped and like dried.
Right. Okay.
Not when there's still pus left in it.
I was gonna say, like, what are you up to when you're in your spare time, right?
I'm not having this. You're making it sound like I'm the weird one after just telling that story.
Yeah, it turns out that's just my story.
I feel like we should rate these stories.
Yeah, let's do it.
10.
Okay.
What could 10 what? 10 ghouls, 10 ghosts, 10 energy drinks out of.
Hey, let me write this down so that I can edit it in to the video once it's finished. So I say out of scariness. So scariness, how interesting is it?
Okay.
And then what?
Believability.
Yeah, believability. I'll go for that one. Believability, and then overall score. Yeah?
So the overall score's out of 30, is it?
Yeah, sure.
Or should I be out of 15 and we do 5 each?
Yeah, do that, yeah. Out of 5 each.
Okay, so scareability, I'm going to give it a 3.
What's that? Believability, you say?
No, that's...
Scary.
Scary.
Right.
What's the other one? Entertaining, whatever it was?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.
Right.
Believability, like a 1.
Right.
Oh, no, scrap that. I'll give it a 2.
A 2? Right. Ooh, very generous.
I'm making it difficult for you. I don't. No, because here's the thing, right? Because it could like, it was alien skin, and then you'd be like, well, that's just that's so you'd have to give that a 1. The fact that it's human skin and the fact that human skin can stretch 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, that fact is far more interesting than the story, but.
Yeah, to be fair, I'll give you that one. For me, I'd say it's probably a 2 on the scary side. Because I feel like if it was true and we definitely knew it to be true, then it would be more scary. But yeah. Interesting. What should I do for that? Interesting, I will say a 4. To be fair. 'Cause it's the first one I read before we started recording, and it's what drew my attention to these short stories, so... I'll give that a 4, and then believability, I will give it... I'll go with you and give it a 2 as well. So...
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have to work out the overalls. You can do that in editing.
I can do that in editing, or I can do it whilst we're talking. I am writing in my notes right now this new old house, and then I've got the ratings.
Lovely.
So your overall for that was 8. My overall was also 8.
I'll go 16 out of 30.
Yeah, not bad.
How exciting.
Not too bad. Over half for the first story. I don't think that's bad at all, to be honest. Should we go into the next one?
Yep.
Okay, this one is called I Hate It When My Brother Charlie Has to Go Away by Horror in Pure Form. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I hate it when my brother Charlie has to go away. My parents constantly try to explain to me how sick he is, that I am lucky for having a brain where all the chemicals flow properly to their destinations like undammed rivers. When I complain about how bored I
Sorry, I just said something after that.
Yeah, of course. When I complain about how bored I am without a little brother to play with, they try to make me feel bad by pointing out that his boredom likely far surpasses mine, considering he's confined to a dark room in an institution. I always beg for them to give him one last chance. Of course, they did at first. Charlie has been back home several times, each shorter in duration than the last. Every time, without fail, it all starts again. The neighbourhood cats with gouged out eyes showing up in his toy chest. My dad's razors found dropped on the baby slide in the park across the street. Mum's vitamins replaced by bits of dishwasher tablets. My parents are hesitant now, using last chances sparingly. They say his disorder makes him charming, makes it easy for him to fake normalcy, and to trick the doctors who care for him into thinking he's ready for rehabilitation. That I will just have to put up with my boredom if it means staying safe from him. I hate it when Charlie has to go away. It makes me have to pretend to be good until he is back. Wait, that just took a dark turn at the end, Adam.
Did it? I'd lost interest by then.
No, right, so this kid's in an institution because it keeps, like, gouging cats' eyes out and putting razor blades on the slides and everything, yeah? And then these last 2 sentences, pay attention. I hate it when Charlie has to go away. It makes me have to pretend to be good until he is back. Charlie isn't the one doing these fucked up things. It's this fucking cunt.
Oh. That might take it from a 1 to a 2.
Right. Fucking hell.
Right, and I'm sorry. Right. This is the thing, right? Because I'm the skeptic out of the two of us, right? About all these fucking things. You replace the vitamin tablets with dishwasher tablets.
Yeah.
Do you know how big dishwasher tablets are? I think.
No, but it did say crushed up. It did say crushed up. But yeah, why would you go to take a tablet of it?
Who has crushed up vitamin tablets? No, none of this makes sense.
Yeah, okay, you have a good point. Okay, so
I mean, to be honest, I thought it was going to be like, oh, you know, I want him to come back, and I kind of had the idea that the bad person was him, but I thought like the thing doing the evil thing was like an imaginary friend or some shit.
Right.
So it didn't necessarily go the way that I thought it was going to do. It went shitter.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was boring until we got to the twist. But, I don't know. Those last two sentences saved it, in my opinion. But, each to the own.
Mean, the best thing about that was, what was it? I knew my brain was going to go to
Chemicals flow properly to their destinations like undammed rivers.
That was great.
Yeah, I agree. That was a really, really good.
Really good GCSE level.
Yeah. What are you giving it for scariness?
For 1.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
was not scared in the slightest.
Interesting.
2.
Okay. And believability.
1.
1. Oh, okay.
No, 2. 2 again.
Right, you keep doing this.
Right, no, and here's my logic behind it, because 2, like, for me, people would go, well, it could be realistic. It's just a guy who's got, you know, some weird mental health issue, but like,
yeah.
If you have, like, it's your first thing to jump on Reddit or whatever and write a scary story about
Especially,
it,
like, if that's about yourself, you just admitted to the world that you're a psychopath.
Yeah. And, yeah. So I don't know what rating that gives it, but that is poor.
Right, yeah. No, to be fair, I would give it a 1, like you, on the scary scale. Interesting, again, I'd agree with you, 2. And believability, I'm going to give it 1 more than you and say 3, because, like you said, some people are like that, some people are fucked up in the head, so it's somewhat believable. But then, yeah, why would you jump on Reddit? So that drops it down in my regard. But I would mark it 1 above you.
And what's this thing? This seems to be like a really common thing, right? First of all, the scratching eyes out of a cat. Do you know how hard cats are to catch? First of all, right. Secondly, right? If you're trying to gouge an eye out of a cat, they're going to attack you, all right? And cats are fierce little things, right?
Right.
They're not going to make it easy.
Yeah.
Also, is this a common thing, like putting razors on slides?
That one I can't say I've ever heard of being done before, to be honest.
And also, this kind of stuff means, right? So if the parents, you know, if the parents clearly know that this guy's insane, right? Or the doctors or whatever know that he's insane, right? So he's either in some kind of mental institute or he's at home. Right, so he's in one of those, but whoever it is, these people who are looking after him know that he's crazy, he's batshit crazy, right?
Yeah.
Why? How has he been given this free time to go and find a park?
Yeah, like I think after the first time, like maybe it had happened once, and then if you've taken him to all these doctors and stuff, surely you would never let that child out of your sight again.
No.
If like even if the doctors cleared him and everything, you'd keep an eye on him. And like for a few years,
and like, would you really allow? And I know the vitamins, but I'm pretty sure if you take a shit ton of vitamins in one day, you can overdose, right? Like anything, any kind of drug, right?
Yeah.
Would you just allow tablets just to lie around?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I do get that. Should we go on to the next one?
Oh, can't wait.
I bet. Okay, this one is called Guardians by Dark Alligator. Okay, let's go. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're already going to hear this one from the first sentence. He he awoke to the huge insect-like creatures looming over his bed and screamed his lungs out. They hastily left the room and he stayed up all night, shaking and wondering if it had been a dream. The next morning, there was a tap on the door. Gathering his courage, he opened it to see one of them gently place a plate filled with fried breakfast on the floor, then retreat to a safe distance. Bewildered, he accepted the gift. The creatures chittered excitedly. This happened every day for weeks. At first he was worried they were fattening him up, but after a particularly greasy breakfast left him clutching his chest from heartburn, they were replaced with fresh fruit. As well as cooking, they poured hot steamy baths for him and even tucked him in when he went to bed. It was bizarre. One night, he woke to gunshots and screaming. He raced downstairs to find a decapitated burglar being devoured by the insects. He was sickened, but disposed of the remains as best he could. He knew they had just been protecting him. One morning, the creatures wouldn't let him leave his room. He lay down confused, but trusting as they ushered him back into bed. Whatever their motives, they weren't going to hurt him. Hours later, a burning pain spread throughout his body. It felt like his stomach was filled with razor wire. The insects chittered as he spasmed and moaned. It was only when he felt a terrible squirming feeling beneath his skin that he realised the insects hadn't been protecting him. They had been protecting their young. That's it. Told you you'd like it. It's great. Oh, thoughts?
I think the insects are going to be chittering at me because I've lost some brain cells just listening to that.
Right.
What?
So I think that one's clearly just a made-up kind of story. This person clearly.
Oh, you think?
Clearly, I'm just saying. Like, clearly, this person had an idea for a short story and they wanted to share it.
And this idea's been done. It's called metamorphosis. All right, and it was done hundreds of years ago, right? And the fact that it's never been done again, or it has been done but never been popular, is because it's shit. Alright? I'm sorry, I don't like shitting on people. I love it when people do the writing and stuff like that. I'm all for people doing stuff like this, right?
Sounds it.
I just hope and pray that these people are doing it as like a little hobby and they're not like passionate about doing something with this. Although what I would say is that this one is at least a little bit organic of an idea.
Yeah. Okay.
The other one, you know, about some guy who's got mental health issues and is a bit of a psychopath. That's been done so many times. The one before, you know, it's like you said in another episode. Oh, a new house.
Yeah.
Every horror thing's that. This
That's
one
like that, yeah.
Needs to be given a little bit of credit. It's shit, but it's organic. You know, it's something a little bit fresh.
Yeah.
It's a fresh poo. It's a poo that you, when you have it, you look in the toilet before you wipe your ass. You know what I mean? Because you want to see what it's like.
This is definitely going to be cut into a clip and put on TikTok. I'm just going to put it out there now. That was brilliant. Okay, so how would you rate Guardians then for scariness?
1.
1, okay. Yep. Interesting.
You see, this is a difficult one, right?
Right.
Because here's the thing. The moment I heard about the insects, my brain was like, oh god.
Yeah, I knew it would.
But the thing is, it was a little bit of a weird, quirky thing. So I'm gonna give 3.
Ooh, you're gonna give it 3?
Because I like the fact that it's somewhat organic, it's somewhat different, and I like the idea of an insect running someone a nice warm bath. I mean that's lovely, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I mean, you're not wrong. I'll give you that. You're not wrong at all.
And I didn't know that it was going to have those babies inside of him.
No, that was a good little twist at the end. I think it was definitely a good little
So 3.
twist.
3.
Yeah. Okay. Believability.
1.
Yeah, I mean
And
that's
if we could
fair.
do minuses, I'd do, But
Yeah.
1's like the absolute minimum. There's no 0 to it. Yeah, so 1.
No, that's fair. I would actually agree completely with those ratings, and I would put them myself. 1 scary, 3 interesting, and believability 1. Scary, there was no scare there. It was just an interesting story. Again, interesting. I found it interesting. I'm surprised that Adam went for a 3. But me, yeah, I'm going for a 3 on that one as well because I did find it interesting. And believability, it has to be a 1 because there's no such thing as large insects taking care of you running baths.
Australia, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So that is actually our lowest rated 1 so far. That is.
That's our lowest rated.
Yeah, that is a 10. That is literally a 10 out of 30. The one before this got 11. So, yeah. That's how it is. That is how it is.
Come on, there's got to be a couple of more to help save us. I want a good solid 20, do you know what I mean? I want something like that.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice to get a couple of really good ones in here. It's hoping. But, I mean, I wouldn't hope too much because, yeah. Should we get into the next one?
Yeah.
Right. So this one, guys, is called Seeing Red, The First Day of School by Zenri Howell. And there's that sigh.
Seeing red, I'm fucking seeing red.
Are you ready? Right, I'm going to disagree with this, but everyone loves the first day of school, right?
One.
What do you mean 1? 1 for believability?
1 for the 5 for scarability.
Brilliant. New year, new classes, new friends. It's a day full of potential and hope, before all the dreary depressions of reality show up to ruin all the fun. I like the first day of school for a different reason though. You see, I have a sort of power. When I look at people, I can sense a sort of aura around them.
Alright, okay. No, people have that.
A coloured outline based on how long that person has to live.
Say that again.
A coloured outline based on how long that person has to live.
Right, so they lost me there because I was thinking at first, do you know, like some people do have an energy about them, so you can walk down the street and you know, you can just get a bad vibe from someone. I thought, okay, well maybe they mean like that, and I was actually going to go, yeah, we've all got that, I think, right? Not a colour which tells us how long they're going to live. Yeah.
Right. Most everyone I meet around my age is surrounded by a solid green hue, which means they have plenty of time left. A fair amount of them have a yellow or orangish tinge to their auras.
It's like the smell thing on Sims. When someone hadn't showered.
Yeah.
And like green stuff comes up.
A fair amount of them have a yellow orangish tinge to their auras, which tends to mean a car crash or some other tragedy. Anything that takes people before their time, as they say. The real fun is when the auras venture into the red end of the spectrum, though. Every now and again, I'll see someone who's basically a walking stoplight. Those are the ones who get murdered or kill themselves. It's such a rush to see them and know their time is numbered. With that in mind, I always get to class very early so I can scout out my classmates' fates. The first kid who walked in was basically radiating red. I chuckled to myself. Too damn bad, bro. But as people kept walking in, they all had the same intense glow. I finally caught a glimpse of my rose-tinted reflection in the window, but I was too stunned to move. Our professor stepped in and locked the door, his aura a sickening shade of green. Ooh, teacher killed them all. Oh, that was great, that one. I love that.
This story was brought to you by the American Association of Guns.
Yeah, but I like the twist that it was a teacher and not a student.
What I would say is that if there is anyone, any students in America listening to this, don't rely on on this to get you out of a school shooting. Alright? If a school shooting is taking place, don't be like, now it's going to happen because I don't see a red thing around me. Alright? That's my one thing.
Look in the mirror. I'm safe! Runs up to the
credit where credit's due. Because, yeah. Credit where credit's due. I like people who talk about topics that people don't like to talk about.
Right.
People don't like talking about school shootings and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, we assume it's a shooting. He could have just he locked the door, so he could have had like a butcher's knife or anything. Like,
fucking butcher's knife.
I don't know. You never know.
What? Just 30 people in the classroom with one butcher's knife.
Hey, you never know. You never know. In these random bullshit stories, you never know. It could be exactly like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Scary?
I don't know. You go first on this one because I need some thinking time about this.
Okay, right. For me, I would say a 1 actually on the scary. I just don't think it didn't hit the mark for me. It wasn't that scary at all, and it didn't really have that horror factor for me. Like, it's just a cool, weird story about this kid who can see auras and knows when people are gonna die, and basically he then saw essentially a serial killer, right, or like a mass murderer. There was nothing horrific about that because that's just reality.
Can I just write? Oh, it was first day of school. Okay,
yeah.
No, actually, that makes sense now.
What do you mean?
Because I was thinking, well, hang on a minute. Surely, if it was how they're going to die, surely they would have all been in red for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
First day of school.
Yeah.
But is it
but
like
then
first day of
himself,
school, like all together?
What you've got to think as well, because I agree with that. What you're thinking is how wouldn't he have noticed? If it's first day of school, he's never met these people. Fair enough. But his reflection. Surely you've seen your own reflection before. And it would have been red, say, in the morning when you're brushing your teeth in the mirror or brushing your hair or whatever. Surely it would have been red then, and you'd have been like, yeah, no, I'm not going to school. Like, fuck that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, you found, I mean, you found one of many loopholes in this story.
Yeah, massive plot hole there. I'm very sorry.
So you're giving it a 1. You're giving it a 1 for scareability.
I really am. Sorry, Zemri Howe.
I don't think he's going to be offended.
No, I don't think he will be either. Interesting, I'll give you a 2. I like the idea of the auras and seeing people when people are going to die and shit. Believability 1 because it's clearly made up. So that is a total of 4 for me.
I think you've been quite harsh.
Do you really? Well, I mean, believability has to be a 1.
Does it?
Well, I mean, that's unrealistic, isn't it? Nobody has an aura ability where they can see somebody.
But how do you know?
Hey, this is the thing. This is what we always say in these videos. You're the fucking skeptic, and I'm the believer, and I never believe anything.
Scareability, I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 1. Interesting, I'm gonna give. I'm gonna give it 3 for interesting.
Okay, not bad. And believability.
And a 2 for believability.
Okay. Bit concerned, but okay. Again, we're on a 10 out of 30 for that one. So, again, pretty shit. Overall, yeah. Should we move into the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, this one is called They Got the Definition Wrong by Luayu, something like that. Okay, let's just get straight into it. It has been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I understand the sentiment behind the saying, but it's wrong. I entered the building on a bet. I was strapped for cash and didn't buy into the old legends of the hotel to begin with. So $50 was more than enough to get me to do it. It was simple. Just reach the top floor, the 45th floor, shine my flashlight from a window. The hotel was old and broken, including the elevator, so that meant hiking up the stairs. So up the stairs I went. As I reached each platform, I noted the old brass plaques displaying the floor numbers. 15, 16, 17, 18. I felt a little tired as I crept higher, but so far, no ghosts, no cannibals, no demons. Piece of cake. I can't tell you how happy I was as I entered that last stretch of numbers. I joyfully counted them aloud at each platform. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 44. I stopped and looked back down the stairs. I must have miscounted, so I continued up. 44. One more flight. 44. And then down 10 flights. 44. 15 flights. 44. And so it's been for as long as I can remember. So really, insanity isn't doing something repeatedly and expecting different results. It's knowing that the results will never ever change. That each door leads to the same staircase, to the same number. It's realising you no longer fall asleep. It's not knowing whether you've been running for days or weeks or years. It's when the sobbing slowly turns into laughter. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Alright. Okay, you know.
I enjoyed that one, to be honest. I really did.
You know, it's got definitely got some believability about it in terms of the whole going into the hotel aspect. Starts to get a little bit more unbelievable towards the end, but you know.
No, I'd agree with that. Yeah,
I think it is quite interesting. I don't necessarily think it's too scary, but
no,
you know.
I would agree. I enjoyed it though. It felt good, and the way it was worded towards the end, I really enjoyed that. I have to say that was one of my favourites so far, to be honest. And it is so true. Like when you're strapped for cash and somebody offers you $50 to do something that seems stupid, of course you're gonna do it. Like that's just how it is, isn't it? I would argue anyway. But yeah. So what would you rate it on scarability?
I'm gonna give it a 2.
A 2? Yeah, okay. Decent.
I don't think it was that. I think it had potential.
Yeah.
To be scary.
Mm.
You know, but yeah, it wasn't too scary.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think it was quite interesting. You know.
No, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a very pleasant 4.
Okay.
And believability, I'll give the believability a 3.
A 3, okay. Interesting. So you've gone for a solid 9 on that one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not bad. Our scores seem to be creeping up a little bit again. I would go with a 2, same as you for the scarability. I'd agree with the interesting being 4. Like I said, I enjoyed this story. It was up there. Probably my favourite so far out of the ones we've read. It was, I don't know, it's the thing about insanity, and honestly, that last sentence sold it for me. It's when the sobbing slowly turns into laughter. I fucking love that sentence. Honestly, that fucking did it for me. So yeah, 4 for interesting, and I actually give it a 2 for believability, because obviously, not true. So yeah, that's where we differ. So I gave it an 8, whereas you gave it a 9. So that is a total of, 17 for this one. Climbing back up.
That's going to be our highest.
Let's have a look, shall we? It is. The first story was 16, and this is 17. Ooh. So that is our winner so far. Well, I think we've got time for another couple, if we're quick. So should we get into it?
Do it.
My daughter learned to count by Real Science 87. My daughter woke me around 11:50 last night. My wife and I had picked her up from our friend Sally's birthday party, brought her home and put her to bed. My wife went into the bedroom to read while I fell asleep watching the Braves game. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging my shirt sleeve. "Guess how old I'm going to be next month?" "I don't know, beauty," I said as I slipped on my glasses. "How old?" She smiled and held up 4 fingers. "It is 7:30 now. My wife and I have been up with her for almost 8 hours. She still refuses to tell us where she got them." What the fuck? What the fuck?
What?
The fingers! That's the end of the story, man. That's legit the end of the story.
So she's got 4 fingers and...
She just found these 4 fingers. I'm guessing she either held up 4 separate fingers, or she doesn't have any fingers and she held up 4 fingers. It's not very clear, is it, to be honest?
No, it's a bit shit.
I would agree. I would agree that was very weak, very weak.
Scarability, that was 1. What was interesting? But 1.
Right.
Believability.
1.
2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Yeah, I have to go believability 2 because it's human, and there is a chance out there that a young girl has just come across a dead body and has found some fingers. There is a
late
chance
at night
out there
though. Late at night. That's what gets me. Late at night, and they were on the couch. Like for me, that's just like no. Where she just got these fingers from? It's nah. So for me, I gave it a 1 on all scarability, interesting, and believability, giving it a total of 3 for me. So giving it an overall of 7. Unfortunately, just didn't hit the mark for me at all. Honestly, kind of disappointed with that one. That was genuinely shit. No offense to the author of that one, but it just there's no hitting the mark with that. I'm sorry, do better. You know, try harder next time.
I'm still waiting for. I was waiting for like she tugged at me, you know, and then like she died 10 years ago. Something like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, something a bit more interesting.
Shit. Yeah.
Right, let's just jump into the next one. Timekeeper by Gridster2. He had been given the watch on his 10th birthday. It was an ordinary grey plastic wristwatch in every respect except for the fact that it was counting down. "That is all of the time you have left in the world, son. Use it wisely." And indeed he did. As the watch ticked away, the boy, now a man, lived life to the fullest. He climbed mountains and swam oceans. He talked and laughed and lived and loved. The man was never afraid, for he knew exactly how much time he had left. Eventually, the watch began its final countdown. It's the final countdown! The old man stood looking over everything he had done, everything he had built. 5. He shook his hands with his old business partner, the man who had long been his friend and confidant. 4. His dog came and licked his hand, earning a pat on the head for its companionship. 3. He hugged his son, knowing that he had been a good father. 2. He kissed his wife on the forehead one last time. 1. The old man smiled and closed his eyes. Then, nothing happened. The watch beeped once and turned off. The man stood standing there, very much alive. You would think that in that moment he would have been overjoyed. Instead, for the first time in his life, the man was scared. That's it.
Yeah. Do you know what that feels like? That feels like when you're about to come.
What?
And
I just came out of left field. What the?
no, it feels like you're just about to cut, and then, you know, someone knocks on your door. You know what I mean? Delivery, parcel, Domino's. Like there's no ending to it. Do you know what I mean? No, that ruined it for me. That did. I wanted an ending. I wanted him. I wanted him, and everyone else has died.
What the fuck?
Or
Right.
I wanted it to be more, like not metaphorical. Is that metaphorical? I don't know. Well, like I don't know, like his wife dies, and therefore it means that he's died because that was the only love that he had.
See,
So,
I
I mean, I
took a
wanted something
completely
like that.
different thing from this than you did. What I saw was this beautiful story of how a father had given his son this watch and basically told him, this is how long you've got to live, so live it to the extreme. So his son went out and did all this like amazing stuff and lived the best life he could because he thought that that's all the time he had. He lived with no worries whatsoever, and that was the gift his dad had given him. That's how I look at that. That is the gift his father gave him to be able to look at life with no worries of dying.
Yeah, now he's scared because he's thinking, oh my god, I'm not going to do anything now because I don't know when I'm going to die.
Yeah, that's how I see that. I see that the initial part as being a beautiful story, a beautiful gift from father to son. I really did like that aspect.
You might be right, actually. You might be right, but I still, you know, I still feel like I've been let down.
No, I understand that. Yeah, no, that's fair. Should we do a rating?
Yeah, scareability. One again. It wasn't scary, was it?
No, it wasn't scary at all.
Interesting. I'll give it a 4. I was intrigued.
Great, brilliant.
And believability. Believability. I mean, there's not a lot in there that's unrealistic.
No, not at all.
I'm gonna. Could that have happened? I mean, you need to kind of, to a certain extent, you need to kind of take yourself out of it. Like, we know it didn't happen, but could it have happened? I'll give that a 4.
No, we've actually agreed on this. I've gone for the same. 1 for scareability because there's nothing scary there. 4 for interesting and believability 4. Because I genuinely did find it interesting, and like I said, I took a completely different take from it that you did. And yeah, believability. There was nothing there that sounded outlandish. It could have happened, you know. So I enjoyed that one, and that brings that to actually being our highest rated one so far, on an 18 out of 30. Now we have time for one final short story, guys. So let's get straight into it. And this one is called "There's No Reason to Be Afraid" by Whoever Fights Monster. I love the size from you straight away. Right, let's get into it. When my sister Betsy and I were kids, our family lived for a while in a charming old farmhouse. We loved exploring its dusty corners and climbing the apple tree in the backyard. But our favourite thing was the ghost. We called her Mother because she seemed so kind and nurturing. Some mornings, Betsy and I would wake up, and on each of our nightstands, we'd find a cup that hadn't been there the night before. Mother had left them there, worried that we'd get thirsty during the night. She just wanted to take care of us. Among the house's original furnishings was an antique wooden chair, which we kept against the back wall of the living room. Whenever we were preoccupied watching TV or playing a game, Mother would inch that chair forward, across the room, toward us. Sometimes she'd manage to move it all the way to the centre of the room. We always felt sad putting it back against the wall. Mother just wanted to be near us. Years later, long after we'd moved out, I found an old newspaper article about the farmhouse's original occupant, a widow. She'd murdered her 2 children by giving them each a cup of poisoned milk before bed. Then she'd hanged herself. The article included a photo of the farmhouse's living room, with a woman's body hanging from a beam. Beneath her, knocked over, was that old wooden chair, placed exactly in the centre of the room. I like that one, to be honest. I did actually quite like that one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It was alright. Yeah, it was fine, wasn't it?
Just fine. It was fine, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a ghost, you got better things to do than fucking leave cuts around for people. I mean, imagine how frustrating that would be. if you was the one to put on pot duty, having to clean the dishes.
To be fair, it's like I think you mentioned in a previous video that sometimes ghosts might be trapped in a routine. I'm pretty sure you mentioned it. They might be trapped in the same routine that they did when they were living. And if she did poison her kids by leaving them a glass by the bed, and then she hung herself by, kicking that chair out from underneath her, then it stands to reason if ghosts are trapped in a loop, that she would be putting those things by the bed, and she would be moving the chair ready to hang herself.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one was probably the scariest one because it had something to do with ghosts.
Yeah.
And instantly that makes things a little bit more, No, I did quite like it. Yeah. What am I gonna go? Scarability. I'm gonna give scarability a. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna go down the middle, and I'm gonna give it a 2.
I want to go down the middle and give it a 2. Like what?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the middle.
No, but I'm not doing 0.5s and shit like that.
Well, no, I thought you were just going to give it a 3. Nice middle number.
Yeah, but then I was thinking, like, is it really a 3?
Yeah, fair.
We'll stick with. I don't even know what else I've given a 2, but we're gonna stick with a 2.
I don't think they got the definition wrong too. The one about the insanity in the hotel. You give that a 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Bump this one up to a 3 then.
Bump it up to a 3. Okay, brilliant.
Interesting. I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I like the twist at the end.
Yeah. No, that was a good twist. Yeah, kind of.
I'm going to give interesting a 4.
Okay, brilliant. And believability?
Believability. I mean, goes that real. But if because we're doing a horror podcast, you've got to. I think you've got to kind of have a bit of leniency with that. So I'm going to give believability. It wasn't too outlandish. If you believe in ghosts, this wasn't an outlandish story. Fortunately, I don't. So I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay, that's not a bad score. To be fair, you give it a 9 overall. That's not bad at all. I agreed with you on the first 2 points. The scarability, I gave it a 3. it's not that scary. It's got some interesting things that could be scary, with obviously the ghost moving stuff and things like that, and then finding out the truth about the ghosts. Interesting for
Word
it
is
was
there's some
well
exciting
written
new stuff waiting for us
and it's
back
pretty
at
decent.
HQ.
Can you shut up,
We've been
please?
there in,
Nobody
like,
asked you to speak.
forever. We should check it out.
Nobody asked you.
I hope my
Shut up.
stuff's all still there.
Sorry about that interruption, guys. Yeah, interesting for it. It was written well and it was decent, to be honest. I enjoyed it. And believability, I went one up from you. I gave it a 3 because I do believe in ghosts, and that does seem like an interesting ghost story to me. But it's drawn up, I can't say for sure. I've never, but for me, like you know, and I've told you before about my sort of ghost experiences. I only ever see them walking up and down stairs or just standing still in a room. I've never seen them move anything or do anything like that. For me, they just move. They physically move themselves. They don't touch anything or move anything. So I don't know. I can't really comment on that aspect of things, but you always see that as a cliche type of thing for a ghost to do. Well, they move the chair. You know what I mean? But I can only go off my own experience, and I do believe in ghosts, and I do believe I've seen them, and I've never seen them move anything, to be honest. So that is why I'm giving it a 3. So my overall is 10, and the overall, just between us, is 19 out of 30. So that does make that the highest one, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, well, that is our highest rated one for the video. We've had some good ones in there, to be fair. Nothing over a 20 though, which is a bit disappointing, to be honest. But I don't know. I think we've had some good stories in there. Some really shit ones, some absolute stinkers, but some good ones as well. I'm quite happy with that. Any final thoughts before we end the video?
I think you should have to use a passport to be able to write stuff on Reddit, so that we can track you down if you write a horrible thing.
Yep, absolutely. I would actually be inclined to agree with that. There are some stinkers out there, and people just make up some random horrible shit. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this one, to be honest. It's a little bit different to our other ones. Like I said, we haven't gone for like one long story and then... Because normally what we do, we tend to get a story that we can tell in about 20 to 30 minutes and then we have a long discussion afterwards. I've enjoyed the breakup of this episode, and
yeah,
it's a little bit
the ratings and stuff
yeah,
like that.
that's what I want to do with the Brainless Believers podcast. I want it to be a little bit different every week. So I know people
can
come
I
to
give a
expect the
little
norm.
teaser for next week?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Or whenever. So my teaser for next week is going to be in a similar style to this. It's going to be, 5 or 6 different things, but I'm going to do conspiracy theories.
That is a good one. That's one we haven't touched on yet on the channel as well. So that should be interesting.
And these are going to be not your the Earth is flat. These are going to be good conspiracy theories. They're not going to be the ones that you've heard of a million times. They're going to be good ones. All right.
I hope so. I can't wait. I genuinely cannot wait. I love a good conspiracy theory. So I'm actually, because you hadn't told me that before we started recording, so I'm genuinely intrigued and I can't wait to film that one. But yeah, guys, we are coming to the end of the hour. So I do hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Look, like we said in the last one, we are trying to film a bit more for you, and we're on a roll at the minute with content, to be honest. We really are, with the Lunar Legends and the Brainless Believers, and the random streams for like COD and stuff. We're on a massive roll, but we are running out of time, guys. So I need to stop rambling as I do. Adam, do you want to say goodbye?
Thanks for listening in, and if you have any suggestions for good stories or anything, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Drop us a comment or try and reach us somehow. I'm sure you'll find us. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching this video and this episode of the podcast. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'm going to see all you guys in the next Brainless Believers. Bye bye.